Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. Be the cause or source of. End resistance, as under pressure or force. The door yielded to repeated blows with a battering ram. Move in order to make room for someone for something. Consent reluctantly. Give or supply. This year's crop yielded 1,000 bushels of corn. Be flexible under stress of physical force. Give in, as to influence or pressure. Give over. Surrender or relinquish to the physical control of another. The quantity of something, as a commodity, that is created, usually within a given period of time. Be willing to concede. Bring in. Production of a certain amount. An amount of a product. Be fatally overwhelmed. Cause to happen or be responsible for. Cease opposition. Stop fighting. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. Circulate or distribute or equip with. Issue a new uniform to the children. Come out of. Water issued from the hole in the wall. The act of issuing printed materials. One of a series published periodically. She found an old issue of the magazine in her dentist's waiting room. An opening that permits escape or release. The canyon had only one issue. The becoming visible. Prepare an issue for public distribution or sale. Supplies, as food or clothing or ammunition, issued by the government. The immediate descendants of a person. He died without issue. The act of providing an item for general use or for official purposes, usually in quantity. A new issue of stamps. Make out an issue. Some situation or event that is thought about. An important question that is in dispute and must be settled. The issue could be settled by requiring public education for everyone. Bring out an official document, such as a warrant. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. Payment made to a person in a position of trust to corrupt his judgment. A recompense for worthy acts or retribution for wrongdoing. The final payment of a debt. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. The average return was about 5%. The key on electric typewriters or computer keyboards that causes a carriage return and a line feed. Document giving the tax collector information about the taxpayer's tax liability. His gross income was enough that he had to file a tax return. Go back to a previous state. Elect again. A coming to or returning home. On his return from Australia, we gave him a welcoming party. Happening again, especially at regular intervals. The return of spring. Be restored. Her old vigor returned. Give or supply. Pass down. Pay back. Go back to something earlier. Getting something back again. Bring back to the point of departure. The act of someone appearing again. Answer back. Give back. A quick reply to a question or remark, especially a witty or critical one. Be inherited by. The land returned to the family. The occurrence of a change in direction back in the opposite direction. A reciprocal group action. In return, we gave them as good as we got. American football. The act of running back the ball after a kickoff or punt or interception or fumble. A tennis stroke that sends the ball back to the other player. He won the point on a cross-court return. Go or come back to place, condition, or activity where one has been before. Return to your native land. Make a return. Return a kickback. Return in kind. Return a compliment. Return to a previous position, in mathematics. The point returned to the interior of the figure. Submit, a report, etc., to someone in authority. The act of going back to a prior location. They set out on their return to the base camp. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. Be capable of holding or containing. This box won't take all the items. Remove something concrete, as by lifting, pushing, or taking off, or remove something abstract. Take the gun from your pocket. Serve oneself to, or consume regularly. I don't take sugar in my coffee. Make a film or photograph of something. Take a scene. Be designed to hold or take. This surface will not take the die. Require, time or space. Take somebody somewhere. Can you take me to the main entrance? Have sex with. Archaic use. He had taken this woman when she was most vulnerable. Have with oneself. Have on one's person. She always takes an umbrella. Receive or obtain regularly. We take the Times every day. Admit into a group or community. Head into a specified direction. Pick out, select, or choose from a number of alternatives. Take into consideration for exemplifying purposes. Assume, as of positions or roles. Interpret something in a certain way. Convey a particular meaning or impression. How should I take this message? Lay claim to, as of an idea. Accept or undergo, often unwillingly. Make use of or accept for some purpose. Take a risk. Take something or somebody with oneself somewhere. Engage for service under a term of contract. Shall we take a guide in Rome? Be stricken by an illness, fall victim to an illness. Take on a certain form, attribute, or aspect. Take as an undesirable consequence of some event or state of affairs. Get into one's hands, take physically. Can you take this bag, please? Require is useful, just, or proper. It takes nerve to do what she did. Occupy or take on. Receive willingly something given or offered. Be a student of a certain subject. Proceed along in a vehicle. Point or cause to go, blows, weapons, or objects such as photographic equipment, towards. Ascertain or determine by measuring, computing or take a reading from a dial. Take a pulse. Be seized or affected in a specified way. Take sick. Buy, select. I'll take a pound of that sausage. Carry out. Take action. Experience or feel or submit to. Obtain by winning. Winner takes all. Take by force. Take into one's possession. I'll take 3 salmon steaks. The act of photographing a scene or part of a scene without interruption. Travel or go by means of a certain kind of transportation, or a certain route. He takes the bus to work. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. Be the cause or source of. Our meeting afforded much interesting information. Afford access to. Be able to spare or give up. I can't afford to spend 2 hours with this person. Have the financial means to do something or buy something. We can't afford to send our children to college. Be the cause or source of. Give entirely to a specific person, activity, or cause. Give one's talents to a good cause. The elasticity of something that can be stretched and returns to its original length. Transmit, knowledge or skills. Give a secret to the Russians. Move in order to make room for someone for something. Bestow. Give homage. Give food to. Don't give the child this tough meat. Give or supply. Convey or communicate. Of a smile, a look, a physical gesture. Be flexible under stress of physical force. This material doesn't give. Contribute to some cause. Bestow, especially officially. Give a divorce. Dedicate. Give thought to. Break down, literally or metaphorically. Place into the hands or custody of. Organize or be responsible for. Give a course. Bring about. Convey, as of a compliment, regards, attention, etc., bestow. Give the orders. Afford access to. The French doors give onto a terrace. Give or convey physically. Give as a present. Make a gift of. What will you give her for her birthday? Endure the loss of. Cause to happen or be responsible for. Accord by verdict. Give a decision for the plaintiff. Allow to have or take. I give you 2 minutes to respond. Cause to have, in the abstract sense or physical sense. Consent to engage in sexual intercourse with a man. Convey or reveal information. Deliver in exchange or recompense. I'll give you 3 books for 4 CDs. Emit or utter. Give a yelp. Estimate the duration or outcome of something. Execute and deliver. Give, as medicine. Guide or direct, as by behavior of persuasion. Inflict as a punishment. Leave with. Give temporarily. Can I give you my keys while I go in the pool? Manifest or show. This student gives promise of real creativity. Occur. What gives? Offer in good faith. Perform for an audience. Present to view. Proffer, a body part. Propose. Submit for consideration, judgment, or use. Give one's opinion. Transfer possession of something concrete or abstract to somebody. Can you give me lessons? End resistance, as under pressure or force. Move in order to make room for someone for something. Break down, literally or metaphorically. Stop operating or functioning. Move in order to make room for someone for something. Reduce pressure or intensity. Become less intense. Move in order to make room for someone for something. Consent reluctantly. Yield to another's wish or opinion. Consent reluctantly. Consent reluctantly. Consent reluctantly. Be fatally overwhelmed. Make, offspring, by reproduction. Bring into existence. The new manager generated a lot of problems. Give or supply. Produce, energy. We can't generate enough power for the entire city. Give something useful or necessary to. Melt, fat or lard, in order to separate out impurities. Render fat in a casserole. Give an interpretation or rendition of. The pianist rendered the Beethoven sonata beautifully. Bestow. Render thanks. To surrender someone or something to another. Render up the prisoners. Give or supply. The estate renders some revenue for the family. Pass down. Render a verdict. Show in, or as in, a picture. The face of the child is rendered with much tenderness in this painting. Restate. Words, from one language into another language. She rendered the French poem into English. Give back. Render money. Make over as a return. They had to render the estate. A substance similar to stucco but exclusively applied to masonry walls. Cause to become. The shot rendered her immobile. Coat with plastic or cement. Render the brick walls in the den. Give in, as to influence or pressure. Lessen in force or effect. Soften a shock. Make less severe or harsh. Give in, as to influence or pressure. Protect from impact. Become soft or softer. The bread will soften if you pour some liquid on it. Make, images or sounds, soft or softer. Make soft or softer. This liquid will soften your laundry. Give over. Surrender or relinquish to the physical control of another. Relinquish possession or control over. Admit to a wrongdoing. Give over. Surrender or relinquish to the physical control of another. Be willing to concede. Acknowledge defeat. The candidate conceded after enough votes had come in to show that he would lose. 18th President of the United States, commander of the Union armies in the American Civil War, 1822 to 1885. Give as judged due or on the basis of merit. Funds are granted to qualified researchers. The act of providing a subsidy. Let have. Grant permission. Law. A transfer of property by deed of conveyance. Scottish painter. Cousin of Lytton Strachey and member of the Bloomsbury Group, 1885 to 1978. Bestow, especially officially. Grant a degree. A contract granting the right to operate a subsidiary business. Give over. Surrender or relinquish to the physical control of another. Be willing to concede. I grant you this much. Allow to have. Grant a privilege. United States actor, born in England, who was the elegant leading man in many films, 1904 to 1986. Transfer by deed. Grant land. Any monetary aid. A right or privilege that has been granted. Signal that comes out of an electronic system. What is produced in a given time period. The quantity of something, as a commodity, that is created, usually within a given period of time. Final product. The things produced. Production of a certain amount. To create or manufacture a specific amount. The computer is outputting the data from the job I'm running. An artifact that has been created by someone or some process. They export most of their agricultural production. The quantity of something, as a commodity, that is created, usually within a given period of time. Production was up in the second quarter. A display that is exaggerated or unduly complicated. She tends to make a big production out of nothing. A presentation for the stage or screen or radio or television. Have you seen the new production of Hamlet? Economics. Manufacturing or mining or growing something, usually in large quantities, for sale. He introduced more efficient methods of production. Law. The act of exhibiting in a court of law. The appellate court demanded the production of all documents. The act or process of producing something. Shakespeare's production of poetry was enormous. The creation of value or wealth by producing goods and services. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. I cannot bear his constant criticism. Have on one's person. Bear a scar. Bring forth. Take on as one's own the expenses or debts of another person. She agreed to bear the responsibility. Behave in a certain manner. Cause to be born. Have rightfully. Of rights, titles, and offices. She bears the title of Duchess. Contain or hold. Have within. Bring in. Interest-bearing accounts. Support or hold in a certain manner. Be pregnant with. She is bearing his child. An investor with a pessimistic market outlook. An investor who expects prices to fall and so sells now in order to buy later at a lower price. Have. Bear a resemblance. Massive plantigrade carnivorous or omnivorous mammals with long shaggy coats and strong claws. Move while holding up or supporting. Bear a heavy load. Cancel or discharge a debt. Pay up, please. Dedicate. Pay attention to. Convey, as of a compliment, regards, attention, etc., bestow. Don't pay him any mind. Do or give something to somebody in return. Does she pay you for the work you are doing? Something that remunerates. He wasted his pay on drink. Bring in. How much does this savings certificate pay annually? Bear, a cost or penalty, in recompense for some action. You'll pay for this. Be worth it. It pays to go through the trouble. Discharge or settle. Pay a debt. Give money, usually in exchange for goods or services. Make a compensation for. Render. Pay a visit. An amount of a product. Bear fruit. The trees fruited early this year. Cause to bear fruit. The consequence of some effort or action. He lived long enough to see the fruit of his policies. The ripened reproductive body of a seed plant. The financial gain, earned or unearned, accruing over a given period of time. Circulate or distribute or equip with. Supply blankets for the beds. Give something useful or necessary to. State or say further. Give what is desired or needed, especially support, food or sustenance. The activity of supplying or providing something. An amount of something available for use. Offering goods and services for sale. Give something useful or necessary to. We provided the room with an electrical heater. Supply means of subsistence. Earn a living. He provides for his large family by working 3 jobs. Mount or put up. Give what is desired or needed, especially support, food or sustenance. The hostess provided lunch for all the guests. Make a possibility or provide opportunity for, permit to be attainable or cause to remain. This procedure provides for lots of leeway. Determine what is to happen in certain contingencies, especially by including a proviso condition or stipulation. The will provides that each child should receive half of the money. Take measures in preparation for. Provide for the proper care of the passengers on the cruise ship.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.